Hi, Steve Arterburn here, and thanks for joining me for Going Deeper. We are into gift number 9 out of this little book, The 12 Gifts of Life Recovery. And if I had a copy of it here, I would show it to you. Here it is now. Anyway, it's gift number 9, 12 Gifts of Life Recovery. This is a great one. It's the gift of courage. So let me tell you what courage is. Courage is doing what needs to be done when it needs to be done, no matter the consequences, no matter the outcome. You just do it. The courageous people are scared to death the car is going to blow up when a person has a wreck, but courageously they do what needs to be done to save this person, even though they know the car may blow up. I mean, courage is action. Now, when I was growing up in the 50s, I had a lot of courage. And I survived. I survived lead paint. I survived no seat belts. Survived no bike helmet. Lawn darts. I mean, you could die from lawn darts, that's for sure. I just, it was even a time when the principal, I remember one time using a board on me in the boiler room, because I had been, I skipped school a couple of times. I survived all that. I survived a family that thought responsible drinking was when you didn't spill it. I survived my uncle who thought a hero helped beer escape from a bottle. That was a hero. And I'm telling you, I survived all that. And it wasn't easy, but I made it. And made some really big mistakes in life, but here I am, still after it. When I think about the mistakes I've made, I think about another man, one of the most courageous men ever. And I think about how much of my life I have lived according to, I'll get to this quote, I think you're going to love it. But this man was known as Winnie when he was very young, and he was raised in England by a nanny that he referred to as womb. In his adult life, he would think back on her, and he would think of how much this mother substitute hired by his parents loved him, and he loved her, and sometimes he would weep over her. At age 7, he was shipped off to boarding school. And it was just a horrible time. And he saw these soldiers marching. And he thought, well, maybe if I could become a soldier, if I could join the army, maybe I would win my parents' love that way. So when he got out of high school, he wanted to go to a college that was a military school. Winnie flunked the entrance exam 3 times. But he wouldn't give up. And eventually he got in. Well, when he got in, it was hard for him to stay in. Every semester was almost like maybe he's not going to make it. He's going to flunk out. But he graduated, and through some pretty amazing connections, he found himself in the military. And he went to South Africa to fight the Boer War. And when he was there, he was captured. So that didn't go well. He got elected to a position, and in that position he was condemned for ordering the military to fire on some striking miners. And it was a disaster that he got him fired. But he didn't quit. And through connections in World War I, he committed the biggest blunder of his career. He was known as the Lord of Admiralty. And against all advice of all the military leaders of that day, he thought it would be a good idea to seize Gallipoli in Turkey. Everybody said it's like suicide. You're gonna wipe out all these folks, and you know what happened? 250,000 soldiers died as a result of his mistake. That's who Winnie was. Mistake after mistake after mistake. But he never gave up. And then, through his connections and other things, he becomes what was called the Chancellor of the Exchequer in England. And he was in charge of England's money and managing it. Against advice, he made some moves with the money, and the moves he made got him fired and put England into a depression. Failure after failure, but he never gave up. He was finally, he was finally elected to Parliament. First time he ran, he failed. And unlike the other folks around him, he did not quit. He just kept fighting. And he believed that Nazis and communists were the evils that could take over the world and destroy everything that they had built up. And when nobody in his party would come along, when he was the only one standing up, he had to get out of politics for about 10 years. But he didn't quit. He waited for the right time, and, Winnie became known as Prime Minister Winston Churchill. And in 2002, he won the Nobel Peace Prize. This stubborn failure, at one point the BBC did a poll, and they elected him the greatest Briton of all time. And somebody asked him, and here's the quote, what is your key to success? How in the world have you been able to just do what you've done? And he said this, he said, success is the ability to go from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. Wow. Isn't that incredible? If you have messed up a few things and you find yourself a little weak on the courage to go forward, Winston Churchill says, success is the ability to go from failure to failure with no loss in enthusiasm. Before Women of Faith, I've told this story 1,000 times. I was touring speakers around the country, 9 cities. We had less than 1,000 people show up, adding up all the people from all those cities. Chicago, biggest ballroom you could imagine, 35 people showed up. I was the biggest failure. But without losing enthusiasm, I started Women of Faith in the first year, 35,000 women. Second year, 150,000 women. And for 20 years, over 300,000 women. Failure, success, going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. And so here he was, and literally, he is the person that kept this world from being dominated by totalitarianism. He gave a speech to some students at Harrow, October 29, 1941, and this is his most famous quote. "This is the lesson," he told the students. "Never give in. Never give in. Never, 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 never. In nothing great or small, except to convictions of honor and a good sense, you just never give in. Never yield to force," he said. "Never yield to the apparently overwhelming might of the enemy." He did not give in. He did not settle for almost. Rather, he was all in. Isn't that amazing? He stood up against evil and Nazi Germany and the communists. And, here we are. Do we have the courage just to stand up against temptation? Do we have the courage to stand up against people telling us, hey, come do this? Do we have that courage? I was with a friend when I was in high school. Now I have 2 gay brothers. One died from AIDS. And this friend, we were together and we spent the night together, sleepover. And this friend wanted to perform an act of sex on me. And I, for whatever reason, said no. I'm not going to do that. I am so grateful in the midst of all the other things I've said yes to that I didn't go down that path. I was able to resist. Sometimes it takes courage to resist, especially when something might feel good, something might benefit us. Man, is it hard. Man, does it require doing what you need to do when you need to do it, no matter the consequences. When you work recovery, you say goodbye to some things that make you feel better, but they're things that don't make you better. And courage is getting into a character building growth program like working the 12 steps and transforming your life for good forever. It's the gift of courage. It's one of the 12 gifts of life recovery. If you need some help, if you want the little book, The 12 Gifts of Life Recovery, you call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. See you next time.